Here's what the big guys know that smaller businesses usually miss. When you hear the word bookkeeping, most people think compliance, paperwork, taxes, rules. But large companies don't just treat bookkeeping as a chore, they treat it as a secret weapon. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on 3 bookkeeping secrets big companies use that could change the way you see your own numbers. Most small businesses approach bookkeeping as a have to. You have to keep records, you have to save receipts, you have to prepare for tax time. And yes, that's important. But here's the hidden truth big companies don't stop at compliance, they use bookkeeping as a strategy. To them, the numbers aren't just a report card, they're intelligence, they're signals, they're early warnings. And that's the mindset shift that separates a survival business from a scaling business. Secret number 1 big companies track more than expenses, they track behaviors. What does that mean? Think of an expense report. A small business might just see, we spent $200 on office supplies. Done, recorded, box checked. But a big company asks, what does this tell about how we operate? Are we buying supplies too often instead of in bulk? Are certain departments overspending compared to others? Is this purchase a one-time need, or is it just part of a bigger pattern? In other words, they don't just ask, what did we spend? They ask, what does this spending say about our habits? And that's the difference. Expenses show numbers, behaviors show trends, and trends are where decisions get made. Secret number 2 big companies audit themselves long before regulators ever knock. Most small businesses see an audit as something external, something that happens to you, something scary. But big companies flip the script. They run internal audits all the time, not to punish, but to prepare. An internal audit can look like double-checking whether receipts match transactions, spotting duplicate payments, or testing whether their books line up with their cash flow. Why do they do this? Because they know mistakes are easier to fix early. By catching errors in-house, they avoid embarrassment, penalties, and panic later. They treat audits like health checkups, not emergencies. And that's a secret worth stealing. Self-auditing isn't about fear. It's about staying one step ahead. Secret number 3 big company use data storytelling. What does that mean? It means they don't just crunch numbers, they translate them. For example, instead of saying, we spent $50,000 on advertising, they ask, what story does this number tell? Did that $50,000 bring in new customers? Did it improve retention? Did it actually grow revenue? Instead of saying, our profit margin dropped, they dig deeper. Was it seasonal? Was it a one-time expense? Or is this the start of a bigger trend? They build narratives from their data. Narratives that drive strategy, influence investors, and guide teams. Because here's the truth. Numbers alone don't move people. Stories do. And big companies know how to turn spreadsheets into strategy by making the numbers speak a language everyone can understand. Here's a real-world example. A large retailer noticed through its records that shipping costs were spiking in one particular region. On the surface, it just looked like higher expenses. But when they dug into the data, they realized the pattern was tied to the way they routed shipments. By changing their supply chain strategy, they saved millions. Not because they stared at the number itself, but because they listened to the story the number was telling. That's the secret. The books aren't the end of the story. They're the beginning of it. So let's put these 3 secrets together. Big companies don't just record expenses, they study behavior. They don't wait for an outside audit, they run their own checkups. And they don't stop at raw data, they turn numbers into stories. When you see your books through that lens, they stop feeling like paperwork and start feeling like power. Because the truth is, compliance is the baseline, intelligence is the advantage. So what's the takeaway? The secret isn't hidden software or fancy systems. The secret is perspective. Big companies treat bookkeeping as intelligence, not paperwork. They ask better questions of their numbers, and in return, their numbers give them better answers. That's the gap most small businesses miss. Not because they can't, but because they've never been shown how. So next time you look at your records, don't just ask, what did I spend? Ask, what does this say about my business? If you found this behind the scenes look valuable, hit subscribe. Every Thursday at 10 a.m., I share insights like these, secret psychology and strategies that reveal the truth about bookkeeping without the fluff. So subscribe now, and I'll see you in the next episode.